If you give me till the end of this video, I guarantee you that you will never want to watch porn ever again. Because in the next short span of time, I'm going to explain to you precisely why it is so bad for you, what effects it can have on all areas of your life, and just how damaging porn actually is. Because I think a lot of people know in the back of their head that obviously porn is not a good thing for us. Like, there is just no way that watching other people have sex can in any way be healthy for us, like emotionally and psychologically. But there are a lot of studies coming out recently that are really not only backing up this point, but putting on an emphasis of just how bad it can be for you. So I've done, multiple hours of research onto this. I have really dug deep. I've read studies, I've watched videos and podcasts. I've collected as much as I possibly can because I really wanted to know for myself, what are the effects of watching porn? Is it really that bad of a thing? Is it okay to watch it? And today I want to share my findings with you, and I want to share my conclusions with you. So I guess the first thing I should address is the credibility of this video. And, because I decided to go maximum autism on this and research, a lot and do as much digging as I can, I definitely have sources to back it up. And so what I've done is I'm going to put an actual APA 7 bibliography in the description of this video, so you'll know for a fact that I did the research for this. I can back up everything I say, and you can go check out those sources for yourself if you want, because I think at the end of the day everybody should do their own research. But today I just want to share my findings with you and talk about what I've learned. So we're going to start off here with how porn affects your brain, because it actually has, physical, psychological effects on the anatomy of your brain. So porn, to start, works the same as any dopamine-based stimulus. So in porn, you basically have the same reaction in your brain as if you were eating hyper-palatable, hyper-processed foods, like fast foods, or if you're scrolling on Instagram, or, even, we'll get to this later, but if you were taking, drugs. But the key thing to take away here is that it has the same effect. It's the same system in place. It's pleasure, which progressively turns into craving, which ends off at compulsion, which is disastrous, because you don't want to be engaging with something like online pornography compulsively, because that's where disaster starts. So here's an interesting fact, is one of the studies I read actually explained that, or it was either a study or a video, you'll be able to find it in the sources, that there's an actual reduction in gray matter in the reward center of the brain, which is similar in effect to cocaine or methamphetamine. So let me just restate that, because that's fucking insanity. That porn has a similar effect on the gray matter in your reward response system of your brain as cocaine or methamphetamine would. I hope that sunk in, just how insane that is. And think about how easy to access porn is versus how easy to access cocaine and meth are. Like, we're talking about a similar psychological effect, and somehow this one has just gone overlooked as, something that's just way easier to access, way easier to get to. Porn acts as something called a supernormal stimulus. So basically the way a super stimulus works, and there are a bunch of studies, I encourage you to go and research what this concept actually is for yourself, because it's very interesting that we have these stimuli, and they've done studies on this in animals. When you take a normal stimulus and you jack it up to 11, so the example that they use a lot of the time is there's a special bird that the baby will react to the red dot on a mother's beak. And when the babies are presented with a way larger red dot, they just go crazy. They go haywire. And so porn is basically the same idea in that it's a supernormal stimulus. Like, it's something that you would not ever find normally. Like, I don't care who you are, you cannot, if you go back 100 years, there's no way you would be able to just walk around and have instant access to literally millions of videos of people fucking. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. The example that they used was the average 13-year-old boy today has more access to visually stimulating hypersexualized scenes in women than like Genghis Khan, like the greatest, like the most dominant, powerful rulers and kings in their era in ancient times. Think about the psychological effect that's going to have on somebody growing up. Think about the psychological impact that's going to have on the development of your personality and your sexual identity as an adolescent. That's just wild. Like, our brains are basically, our brains are not meant to take in this level of stimulus. I mean, obviously they're not even designed for like, basic stuff like YouTube and Instagram, but this is elevated even further. Like, it's elevated to an even further degree, which is nuts. We also have that it can lead to the development of altered sexual arousal processing and impaired control over urges. So you can basically damage your impulse control, and it may actually lead to men committing more acts of sexual violence and sexual crimes. Please don't quote me on that. That's just speculation on my part of what this could mean. We also have that hyperstimulation basically results in desensitization, which means people are going to be seeking out more and more progressively extreme content to watch in order to get the same arousal. So you can just see there's a snowball effect right there of having to chase a bigger and bigger high over and over again. Basically the same effect as any addictive substance you can think of, and that can just lead down a rabbit hole where it tears your whole life apart. So definitely another fact to consider. And so some facts, I have some facts here for porn on the effect of the brain before we move on. We have that watching porn affects the mesolimbic reward system the same way that drugs do. So what you can basically pull from that is porn is basically a non-physical drug. It acts in the exact same way on the brain. So it may as well just be like taking any other addictive substance. It can also damage the balance between excitatory and inhibitory brain systems. So it can, it can damage your, your inhibitions, it can damage your arousal levels. It can do a lot of harm in that area of the brain as well. And repeated porn viewing also leads to abnormal emotional responses to real intimacy. So basically, it fucks up your sex life. Like it just fucks up your actual sex life if you watch too much of it. It can straight up just lead to problems in the bedroom, which I'm sure nobody wants. So just another reason to avoid it. And we're just getting started here. We're just getting started. Moving on to the second portion. Now we're talking about mental health effects, because porn absolutely has an effect on your mental health. They've done plenty of studies, and like it just gets crazier from here. It's just going to get worse from here. So the primary idea here is that repeated use of online pornography does not relieve emotional distress. It can actually worsen it, that's just outrageous. It'll actually make your emotional distress just amplified and worse. So what studies found is that most people who frequently watch porn, they're using it to cope with stress or anxiety or symptoms of depression, but it actually ends up backfiring on them. So the short-term distraction of pornography leads to a long-term emotional numbing. So it's the idea of seeking out short-term pleasure, but creating cascading, damaging mental health effects in the long term. There's especially for people who are spiritual or religious, there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of guilt involved in people watching porn. Because they sense a moral conflict there. So this just adds to it. So now, like, not only are you watching something that's just fucking damaging your brain, it's also just developing like this compiling, like this compounding effect of guilt stacking on top of it, which just like you're just dumping kerosene on a flame basically, and making it even worse for your mental health. It can also lead to feelings of unworthiness, low self-esteem, and shame. So again, just basically lowering your self-respect, lowering your self-worth, which will just lead you to basically not take care of yourself and damage yourself even more. Because like your self-worth and how you treat yourself and the good things you do for yourself, like they're reciprocating. They bounce back and forth, and they're a person who treats themselves well is going to increase their self-worth, and then that's going to bounce back and they're going to treat themselves even better. But it goes the opposite way, and that's what watching porn is doing. Is you are basically knowingly like doing something bad and treating yourself like shit, and that's just subconsciously lowering your self-worth, and that's just going to make you do even more bad shit and just treat yourself worse. And again, it's just another cascading effect that can lead down a rabbit hole until you just become like a fucking depressive puddle of emotional nothing that completely, like, just a complete waste to society, basically. That's where it can lead to. It can also lead to sleep disruption, late night binges, and restlessness. So now we're damaging sleep as well, basically. Because like if you're somebody who's watching it, if you're someone who's watching porn before you go to bed, well, fuck. I mean, now you've spent 20-30 minutes watching it, so 20 or 30 minutes you could have been falling asleep. Plus you got the stimulation of the blue light, like the phone, gonna make you fall asleep even less. So you've absolutely fucked your sleep quality. Congratulations. Like you just absolutely fucking destroyed your sleep, which for most people is just most people's sleep is garbage to begin with. So now you're just making it worse again. It's bad recovery now, lower mood, lower testosterone. I mean, just damaging one of the most critical health components you can have. And it's a maladaptive emotional coping mechanism. So people use it to cope with negative emotions, but it's just creating more of them is basically the gist of it. That's where this is leading. So let's talk about a couple mental health porn facts. Depression and porn were among the most searched topics during the COVID-19 pandemic, which it makes sense. People were cooped up in the house, but it raises the point, and we'll get to this later because I'm actually going to do a little segment in defense of watching porn, because I think whenever you take a stance, it's equally as important to examine the opposing side. So we're going to address some of the points in defense of it, and that's going to be talking about a lot of defense is going to be talking about that maybe porn use and all these effects aren't actually, it's not causality, because correlation does not equal causation. That's going to be examined later. But if it is causal, then again, you have porn with a direct link to depression as a result. Many people watching porn report worsened moods after use and not relief. This just makes 100% sense. It's the same thing as if you went and stuffed your face with a bunch of McDonald's. Yeah, you're gonna feel good. It's gonna taste good. But when was the last time you felt good after shoving a bunch of dog shit cancer food in your mouth? Probably a long time ago. And it's just the same way with porn. You're gonna get that pleasure, that instant gratification in the moment, and then you're just gonna feel like garbage after. You're just gonna feel like, wow, what a fucking waste of my time. I could have been doing something productive with my life, and instead I just spent 20 minutes watching two people I don't even know have sex in a video online. Completely ridiculous. And porn use is associated with anxiety, guilt, helplessness, and social isolation. So just links to more negative mental health disorders and emotions and low mood. Alright, so now let's talk about the effect of pornography on relationships and sexual dysfunction. So this is huge. I mean, again, we're just basically damaging another critical area of life. So the primary idea here is that porn is hurting real intimacy, connection, and sexual performance. So directly damaging intimate relationships, basically. Directly damaging them. So key prompts to start, we have there is a spike in men under 40 with erectile dysfunction, which is partly linked to porn use. Do I really have to explain why this one's bad? If you're someone who's at all interested in maintaining a healthy sex life, then erectile dysfunction is probably something you're going to be really looking to avoid. And there's a link to it and watching porn, which it just makes total sense, because again, super stimulus. If you're watching people with unrealistic bodies engage in an unrealistic theatricized version of sex, of course that's going to damage your ability to get aroused at real life sex. It makes total sense. Total sense. That's a no-brainer. You can 100% see that. Let's continue.
Real sex
becomes unsatisfying after constant exposure to artificial versions. Again, going back on what I just elaborated on, that's what you get when you have these supernormal stimuli. They're just going to desensitize you and damage the actual experience. Basically, that's the gist of it. Porn creates unrealistic expectations of bodies and behaviors, huge, especially for if you have adolescent boys or girls watching it. Just another dose of fuel to add to the monstrous fire of body image issues that we have in the 21st century due to social media. Like, just another thing to add to that problem. So even more body image issues for boys and girls, because you're just watching people who have, you have no idea whether these people have been through like surgeries or had, implants or what they're taking, medications, stuff, like you have no clue. And here they are being made to represent actual like normal human beings. So you can see how that would just create tons of mental health problems. Over time, porn use reduces interest in real life partners. It just logically makes sense. If you have such quick, instant, easy access to sexual content, of course you're going to be less motivated to go out and find a sexual partner. Of course. That's just a no-brainer. It makes total sense, There's no real argument to be made there. 10% of 18 to 19-year-old boys prefer porn to a real partner. So there you go. So 10% of 18 to 19-year-old boys just aren't even trying to seek out a sexual partner. They're not even bothering. They're just sticking with porn. Like, they're not even getting out there trying to meet somebody, trying to, have a relationship, start a family, have some fucking kids, like continue their bloodline. They'd rather just sit at home on their iPad and goon, which is that's partly their problem, but they also just probably aren't aware of the issues that porn raises. So that's huge. Women's sexual needs are often ignored in porn, shaping imbalance in real sex. Like women are just, porn primarily, its primary audience is men, obviously. So women are just constantly over-sexualized and objectified in pornography, which, can lead to even more problems, for sure. Totally makes sense. Alright, some facts to drop here about porn and how it affects relationships. Sexual satisfaction drops, especially with frequent use. So you're just going to be less satisfied with a real life partner. Porn creates emotional distance and weakens bonding. So just damaging the emotional connection between you and your romantic partner. Hypersexual behavior is linked with reduced empathy and self-acceptance. So we're basically just creating like we're creating a sociopaths with no empathy, and we're also creating people with terrible self-esteem and and huge self-acceptance issues. So just damaging people psychologically even more. And then we have fantasy versus reality creates disappointment and performance issues. So just directly damaging your sex life, basically. Creating performance issues in the bedroom because you can't live up to the
the sexual
fantasy that pornography portrays.
Now let's move on to
social and cultural impact.
The
main idea here is that porn is shaping society in harmful ways, especially for youth.
Porn
Normalizes objectification and commodification of sex. So
it's
basically adding fuel to the fire of the kind of emotionally numbing hookup culture that's really taken over, especially with young guys and young women. Commodification of sex is crazy. So that's one point to look at. Creates toxic beauty standards and body dissatisfaction. So more body image issues for people. Just straight up. Which we already have more than enough of nowadays with the internet. Porn sites have more traffic than Amazon, Netflix, and Twitter. Just think about that for a second. More traffic to porn sites than Amazon, Netflix, and Twitter. That's fucking crazy. That is insane. That's a stat for people who think that it's not a huge industry. Like this shit's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's completely taken over. Youth are forming their sexual identity through porn and not connection. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. Like youth forming their sexual identity through porn instead of connection. How insanely unhealthy and damaging to society could that end up being? That's crazy. Teen boys now see more naked women in a week than most men saw in a lifetime 100 years ago. Again, just probably completely frying the development of the brain. Like that, I can just see how that would have insane cascading after effects that could just mess up any teen boy and their development. Contributes to loneliness, social awkwardness, and withdrawal. So again, now you're just creating a generation of like lonely, antisocial, like porn watching hermit gooners who just don't go outside, don't seek relationships. They just stay on their iPad and goon to videos of people having sex instead of trying to get their own. Just wild. Could contribute to an epidemic of depression, anxiety, and suicidality. Suicide, basically. An epidemic of depression, anxiety, and suicide. So just creating basically a group of like depressed suicidal men and women who because they're just in such a bad place mentally probably won't be able to contribute to society in any meaningful way, which is wild. Let's move on now to signs of addiction and compulsion, because not everybody is going to get addicted to porn, but the risk if you do end up getting addicted is insanity. It's the effects of it can just derail your life completely. So keys to watch out for is compulsive behavior. So if you find yourself binging it, like watching for like multiple hours, watching it late at night, or having intrusive thoughts throughout the day, that's a symptom of porn addiction. If you try to stop but you can't, that's basically the hallmark of any addiction. Like I can try to stop drinking Monster Energy, I won't last long. So I'd pretty well call that a fucking addiction.
And same thing goes.
And same thing goes with porn, you know.
Idea. So
Same idea. So watch for that.
People rushing
work, skipping sleep, excuse me, neglecting obligations to view porn. So rushing work, skipping sleep, and neglecting obligations. Basically just like fucking your life over. Basically just fucking your life over to watch more Pornhub. So that's another symptom or sign of porn addiction, which can pop up. Physical symptoms include fatigue, low libido, and decreased appetite. So you're less likely to get shit done during the day. Your sex drive is lower, and you're not eating as much. You're just gonna end up turning into like a useless, low energy, low mood slug that does nothing. Feelings of guilt, shame, and frustration, which you're just going to project into the rest of your life. And social symptoms include withdrawal, awkwardness, cyber stalking, or even illegal behavior in extreme cases. So just more ways to derail your life entirely if you get addicted to porn. And here's some porn addiction facts for you. We have 11% of Americans watch porn daily. So 1 in 10 Americans watch it every day. That's just fucking outrageous. Chronic use is linked with sexual dysfunction and delayed ejaculation. So creating even more problems for you in sexual relationships. It rewires the brain's reward system to seek novelty and escalation. Just another problem, especially if you're in a long-term relationship with one partner. If you're looking for novelty and escalation, like you're just gonna make some terrible decisions probably based on that. And it can lead to use in secretive and compulsive ways, just like drugs can. So, like shamed, hidden away use, which is just going to create even more problems and guilt for you. So yeah. Now let's move on to the counterpoints and a nuanced view. So we're going to talk about arguments for pornography, that it's not going to be as bad a thing, because it's important to examine the other side. So let's look at some arguments. Key points. We're looking to acknowledge opposing views without denying the harm it has. So we have not everyone is addicted. For some, porn use is casual and doesn't interfere with life. Very true. There are people out there who are going to be able to use it in a healthy manner that won't intrude on the rest of their life. But I would just say, like, is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk of just how badly you can just fucking turbo damage the rest of your life so fast? And plus, you're just wasting 20, 30, 40, whatever, however long you decide to watch for. You're just wasting time. Like, you're just sitting there in your bed gooning. And then for at least for guys, what happens when you're done? Like, ejaculation just causes you to, enter this, extreme relaxed state. So you're gonna sit there and like go on YouTube or scroll, more likely to scroll Instagram and stuff, and just be a lazy, like, useless turd for even longer. So it's gonna bleed into your time after watching it, which a lot of people don't think about. Correlation does not equal causation. Many studies can't prove that porn causes the problem. So this is the big argument basically for porn is that it's not actually directly causing all of these issues, and that increased porn use in itself might be an effect of some other underlying mental health symptoms, like mental health issues. So just because these things pop up together, they're not directly linked to each other.
which
you have to acknowledge is a possibility.
That being said,
I think it's a pretty fucking low possibility. I think that there's a big chance that porn is causing a lot of these problems, but
yes,
there's a chance that porn is not responsible for all of the issues that we've talked about, and that's actually something else going on, or a number of different things, and porn is not the sole factor there.
Porn may be a symptom,
not a cause of loneliness or sexual dissatisfaction. So loneliness is the thing that's leading to increased porn use. Increased porn use is not causing more loneliness. Again, going back to the causation correlation, and we're flipping it here, saying that porn use and porn addiction is actually a symptom, which you have to acknowledge is also a possibility. It's true.
Some
people say porn fills a gap when real sex is impossible. So if you cannot attain for some reason or another, it's just not possible. You can't get access to a sexual relationship, which I'm trying to think, like, maybe there's.
I feel like that would just be
so few cases. Like, I feel like for most guys out there, you can make it happen. Like, if you want to have sex, you gotta get out there and talk to women. Maybe I'm just so skeptical of that point. Real sex is impossible. But I can see it for like very special cases. But in that area, I think you should still, even if you're gonna masturbate, you should be using your imagination, because you're just exposing yourself to these hyperstimuli, which just is not healthy for you. Comparing porn to alcohol, moderate use may be fine for some, but risky for others. So you have to evaluate your own tendency towards addictive substances and think about, would I be at risk here of becoming hooked on these things? Which is fair. I just say avoid it entirely. I think if you have to fucking ask the question, then you should just avoid it entirely. I think it's that simple. You know. Research shows that for vulnerable people, porn can become life-altering in a negative way. Yeah, so ChatGPT cooking up a little bit there with the research summary. Not sure what it's saying there, but all good. Everyone fantasizes. Porn is just a visual aid. True. My argument to that is that it's an extreme visual aid, and anything in extremity is usually unhealthy for you, because the opposite of crazy is still crazy. Almost everyone you know uses it without disaster. It's true, but just because they're using it without disaster does not mean you're not using it without damage. You just might not know it. Some use it for commitment-free release. Again, I think in this case, if you're gonna jerk off, just use your imagination. It's just healthier for you. Violent crimes might spike if masturbation were restricted. Again, I think the argument to that is you're not restricting masturbation, you're just restricting pornography. Porn isn't inherently evil, but misuse has very real consequences. That's true. The inherently evil, not sure. There's definitely an argument to be made there, but I think that's up to personal opinion. And finally here, we have some call to action prompts for you. Are you aware of how porn affects your brain and relationships? These are good questions that you can journal to yourself to think about. Have you ever tracked how you feel after using porn? Remember that if it's interfering with your goals, relationships, or mental health, maybe it's time to rethink it.
You don't need shame.
You don't need shame, you need awareness.
Healing doesn't.
And
start
healing
with
doesn't start with judgment.
It starts with
It
honesty.
starts with honesty.
So yeah, be honest.
So yeah, be honest to yourself about
Relationship.
your relationship to pornography.
That's all I've got.
And that's all I've got for you today. Again, list of references will be in the description. I hope you've gleaned something from this video. I hope you understand
my stance here.
my stance here, which is that
Porn is fucking
terrible for you.
like
Even
even
reading through all that shit again, like, it just makes your jaw drop.
It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. But
Thank you so much.
thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you watching. I hope
you learned something.
you learned something.
I hope you have
a fantastic day.
I'll see you back
And
here.
I'll see you back here for the next video.
This
This has been a fantastic one. I genuinely had a
a
really great learning experience going through and doing all this research and preparing for this video.
Very happy with it.
Very happy with it. Very happy how it turned out. Thank you so much.
Take care. Peace.
Take care. Peace.
Enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day.
Go
Go make progress today. Go take some small steps forward
Have a good one.
and have a good one.